Hello, this is Solo. My name is Shiloh, and I started a second channel to talk about things I won't talk about on my first channel. This channel is going to be for like politics, life goals, life aspirations, mindset stuff, anything that is good for the soul. Solo is a triple entendre. One would be, hey, Shiloh. Hey, so Shiloh. Hey, Solo. What do you think? What do you think about this? Solo. What do you think about that? Solo. What do you think about this? Right. That's one. Two, Solo is me by myself. Um, Me just talking into the camera. I may have guests and stuff like that, but that's not something that would be planned for the long term. This is mostly going to be solo content. It's me talking on the camera. And then the third entendre would be solo. Um, I'm doing this channel because it's good for the soul. So there you go. Now, today's video, the title of this video is going to be, if you're between the age of 15 and 30, please watch this, or must watch, whatever. Something like that. We're gonna spice it up. But I wanted to talk about three very important things. I'm a young man, and we're going to get into that. But I'm going to bring up three important topics that I think if you're between the ages, even if you're 12, 13, you should be focusing on. And then even if you're 30, even if you're 40, I don't think it's ever too late to start making changes in your life. But I think the most important time to start making those changes are between the ages of 15 and 30. So a little backstory before I start. I'm not successful. I'm not popular by any means. I don't have much money. I weighed in this morning. I weighed in at 484 pounds. I have a negative net worth, which means I'm in debt. Currently, technically, I'm unemployed, even though, I'm getting money other ways. I ain't gonna tell y'all, but I'm technically unemployed, and I'm door dashing. I'm not a criminal. I'm door dashing, but I'm unemployed, and I live with my mom, and I'm 25. So this isn't really going to be the video of what you should do. This is mostly going to be a video about what you shouldn't do, which may sound counterproductive, but I think it's important that, we see the side, we see people like Andrew Tate saying, hey, you got to get rich, you got to get money, join my universe, take this course, and we'll teach you all the money making techniques that we know, shit like that, which I'm not against. I'm not against people learning what to do, but I think if you only see that side of things, and let's say you try the courses and you try the money making techniques that Andrew Tate promotes, and this isn't a shot to him, this is just an example. If you try those money making techniques that he promotes and for whatever reason it doesn't work, you'll get stuck in this horrible loop. And that's kind of, I didn't sign up for Hustlers University, but that loop was where I was from, I want to say even before, like 13, 12. So that's why I say you can even start at 12, 13 if you're watching this video. But there's three things that I'm going to go through in this video to break down what you should be learning about yourself. This isn't going to be a short video. It's probably going to be long, at least an hour. So grab your popcorn, right? Number one would be, don't run from the grind. Especially while you're young, do not run from the grind. Number two, find your P, right? Your P. I'm gonna break that down for y'all, but find your P. And number 3, lonely versus alone. Those are the 3 main things I'm going to touch in this video in order for you guys to look in the mirror, self-reflect, and say, hey, these are areas in my life where I should be improving, right? I think we all live a different life. Well, it's not even I know we all live a different life. So, I can't come in here and give you guys the best answer for everything. I'm not selling any courses on my own. So I can't, and like I said, I'm broke. So I can't help you guys make money, but I can help you guys create a positive mindset that will attract things like money, good relationships, good friendships, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So the first thing, don't run from the grind. When I was in the 6th or the 7th grade, New Jersey, back in the day, New Jersey, it was the ACTS test, pretty much the state standardized test, right? You take it. It was for math, reading, and science. Now, I normally did well on the test, but during the 6th grade, I received such a high score on the math segment that they were already ready for me to take honors math the next year in the 7th grade. But they also wanted me to take this Indiana state test to see really how good at math I am, right? Now, I know a lot of y'all watching this video probably saying, what the hell does that matter? Why are you telling me about a math test? Now, it's important to say this because during the time I'm 12 and 13, school was easy for me. I'd even go on record saying I enjoyed school. In high school, I got reduced lunch. So that's reduced lunch and reduced breakfast. I'm eating for $1.50 every day. That's 2 meals taken care of. I get to see my friends. I'm not really stressed about test day or nothing like that because the college prep, the standardized classes that you're taking, these classes for me were easy. I was able to, if I pay attention in the classroom for the little 30, 40 minutes that they teaching, I'm good to go. Like I said, I don't struggle with taking tests. I don't struggle with doing homework. I don't struggle with being able to read and understand what the hell's going on. So for me, it was easy. I didn't face those struggles, and I still got to see the positives. I'm still seeing my friends every day. We playing cards, we playing chess. There were avenues to, get to the money if I wanted to do that. Shouts out to all my niggas who was selling the candy out the book bag. Getting they hustle on. Like I said, 2 meals out of the day completed. Didn't even have to worry about it, which mattered later down the road, obviously. Got to, I got the positives, social interaction, shit like that, without the negatives. So, because the negatives for me, test taking wasn't that much of a negative. Like, I'll take the test, I'll be the first, second, third one completed, I'll get a 90 or above, and I go on through my day, right? So, back to the story, right? They wanted to give me the test, I think it was Indiana state math test, whatever, for like 8th graders, whatever, to see how nice I am at math, right? And they told me about this test. I think we had like a month or so to prepare before taking this test, right? And me being a cocky dumbass, I didn't study. I didn't have a study habit. I still really don't have a study habit, which is still kicking my ass. But I didn't have a study habit. I didn't have a form of, let me sit down and review. I didn't really even care how I did on the test. I was already told I was good enough to be honors for math next year, so it didn't really matter, right? So the long story short is I took the test. I did okay, but if I would have studied, I would have been able to do the next level math, right? Instead of the honors, whatever was after the honors in the 7th grade, I don't think it was AP because that's mostly high school, but whatever that next level was, I was able to achieve that if I applied myself. Now, I've had this issue with not applying and not, running from the grind since I was young. That next year, 7th grade, I took the honors math. I almost failed because that class is designed for you to study, for you to get your head in the books, for you to take time for yourself to learn how everything goes. The teacher's only going to do so much in these honors and AP classes. And it's not that I wasn't able brain-wise to learn these functions and learn the math and stuff like that. It's just I was lazy and I was running from the grind and I was running from my true potential. Now, why do I bring this up? That era, that 6th through 8th grade era, kind of set me on a trajectory that led me to run from the grind all throughout high school. I'm taking their college prep classes, but they're bare minimum classes. I'm going to school. Instead of going to school every day to try to get an education, in the state of New Jersey, you get 12 absences. I'm taking all 12 of my absences. Doing the easy electives. Doing 50-50 work, kind of. I'm not really applying pressure on myself. Now, just to let you guys know how it was in my home growing up, I was raised, I have 2 brothers, raised by a single mother for majority of my childhood. And, my mom, it's the same story it's the same story everybody with a single mom goes through. Mom goes to work, you at home, you chilling, you may be at grandma's house, but as long as you're passing, you're good to go. Now, I don't blame my mother for this ideology, mainly because she had larger responsibilities than, hey, Shiloh, why don't you have A's? If I have A's and B's, it don't matter. Her son got A's and B's, right? In the grand scheme of things, I got to worry about how to get to the money to make sure that the bills are paid, right? So me being that kid growing up saying, hey, I'm doing good enough, it's not like me doing any more would have got me any more attention or, any more love, stuff like that, which, it sounds dark, but it's true. I might as well just do just enough to get through school. And then on my off time, I play the game, do whatever, right? But that attitude followed me from middle school to high school. And another story I'll tell you guys, high school, right? Freshman year, I used to play football. When I started playing football, I got jackets. I'm a champion, okay? I'm a champion. I'm proud to say that I'm a champion. I got jackets from when I was a young bull to when I was 12, 13. I was playing a year ahead because I was always big too. So I wasn't playing against no chumps, long story short. But high school comes around. High school football is so much different. High school football is so much different than the midget football. High school football start. Let me tell you when high school football start. If you really want to be nice in high school football start in March. The season normally ends in December, right? because that's when the championship is. And if you're on a nice team, you're planning to play in December, right? If that makes sense. So the season ends late November, December. You got Christmas, New Year's, Martin Luther King Day. You got to get some love, this, that, and the third. But if you really want to be nice at football, your season starts in March. That's when you need to start working out, getting in shape, taking your weightlifting seriously, taking your nutrition seriously, because by the time June, July comes around and they start doing the 2-a-days and, trying to really get you right for the season, if you don't start your work early, by the time you get to training camp, whatever you want to call it, 2-a-days, your coaches got their eyes on you already. They looking to see who came in to the 2-a-days ready, mentally and physically. They're looking to see who came in to the 2-a-days on their A game, right? The work starts early, but me being the lazy fuck I was, I just kept kicking the can down the road, right? So freshman year comes, right? During freshman year, it was only one. We didn't do the full 2-a-days. For the freshmen, they only did the first 2 or 3 hours, and then we get the lunch, right? Now, I'm giving my all during the training day, but after the training is over, I'm not giving it my all, if you get what I'm saying. I'm still eating like shit. I'm not working on my game by myself. I'm treating myself like shit. That's the long story short. So during that early training camp, and then when the season starts, I'm gonna be honest, for the freshman year, I was on the bench. I got playing time, but I wasn't starting, right? And it rubbed me the wrong way, but I was cowardice. I couldn't say nothing because I knew deep down I didn't deserve to start anyway. There were people on the team who were better than me, but what really I forced myself. So I'm gonna take full responsibility of this, but in my mind at the time, what really caused me to say, all right, I'm not doing this anymore, I'm not playing football anymore, I want to say this was around I think it was the last game of the season, right? I forget who we playing, but we're getting blown the fuck out. We're losing by like 30, 40 points. And they just got me standing on the sidelines, not getting no playing time. And I'm just watching our team lose, right? Now, I'm very competitive, and I'll do anything I can do, sacrifice myself to make sure the team can win. So imagine me, 13, 14 years old. I have to now sit on the sidelines and watch my teammates lose, and I don't even get to play. I don't even get to do nothing. So at the time, I felt like, hey, coach don't even see me. Coach don't even respect me. What's the point of me even coming out here when we're losing by 40 fucking points and I don't even get a chance? If I'm not getting a chance at 40 points, you never was going to give me a real chance. You only put me in when we're up by 40 points. You get what I'm saying? So I remember after that game, I got undressed. I put the stuff in the locker room, and I just left. And I told some of the players on the team, hey, I'm not coming back. I'm not handing them my equipment. Y'all know what locker I was using. It's all right there. You can just go get it yourself. I ain't take nothing from y'all. Go get it yourself. But I'm not coming back. I'm not going to sit here and sit on the sidelines while watching you niggas lose. Now, how I consider this running from the grind, because, like I said, I enjoyed football, but I didn't enjoy football, right? I enjoyed playing, but a part of football is watching from the sidelines while you don't deserve playing time. I want to make that clear. I didn't deserve playing time. Not only did I not deserve playing time, I didn't deserve to have those feelings or reactions after the game because, like I said, I didn't even deserve to be in. So for me to sit there with my chest out, and say, "Hey, I ain't coming back," this, and that, and the third, I told a few of my teammates, and my teammates came to me and said, "Hey, coach wants to talk to you at least. You should come through and talk to the coach." And looking back, I should have. The only reason why I didn't want to go and talk to the coach was because I was afraid of the truth. That'd be the other thing. A lot of people be afraid of the truth. I was afraid of the truth. Coach had all the right to sit there and say, "Nigga, you ass. You want to know why you didn't play? You suck." Yeah, which I don't, long story short, I wasn't better than my replacements, if that's how you look at it. Oh my God. I wasn't better than my replacements. So I was kind of running from that truth, and I stopped playing football. Biggest mistake was, one of the biggest mistakes was me stop playing football, because football teaches you so much about determination, about pride, about sportsmanship, about hard work, dedication, discipline. And those are all things that you need when you are advancing later in life. My later endeavors in life. I had a job when I was 16. I worked there for 6 months. I quit and didn't get a second job until after I graduated high school. I worked that job for about 6 months, quit. Try to go to school, try to go back to school. I'm coming up with every reason mentally, I'm coming up with every reason as to why I can't go to college, right? Oh, I can't afford it, which is a lie. Community college was cheap. I took out community college was cheap. Oh, I just don't have the time. I got to watch my little brother. That's a lie. Community college has online classes. Oh, I went to college. So I went to the community college, right? And I have some of the notes. I don't know where my book bag's at. I still have some of the notes. Those college classes I was in, they were understimulating, and I was bored. I was in those classes bored as fuck because I never took the SAT. I never took the ACT. And I was only taking college prep classes in high school. And I was never going above and beyond in high school. So by the time I get to the college classes, they're saying, hey, based on your high school credits and based on the fact that you didn't take the SAT or the ACT, we don't really know if you know these levels of maths. So you got to start taking prerequisite classes, which is pretty much just high school classes again, in order to see if you are really eligible to move up to college level classes. So that first semester of college, community college, was high school 2.0 without none of the benefits. I didn't really have any social interactions. I mean, I knew a few people. It was cool to go to the cafeteria. They in there playing Smash Bros. Or, doing high school shit, making beats on the table, shit like that. That did exist, very slightly. But when I'm in the classrooms, the lecture style, even when there's only 30, 40 kids, it's still lecture style. It's still no group work, all solo work, not much social. And I'm sitting there, I'm doing shit in 15 They'll give you a worksheet and say, hey, once you finish this worksheet, you're done. We have an hour in this motherfucker. I finished the worksheet in 15 minutes. What the fuck? Why am I sitting here for? That was my thought process. But now when I look back, I should have stayed and sat through it. I should have pushed and even if I got a degree in something that, well, I was never going to get no gender studies degree, okay? But even if I got a degree in something that I didn't see myself using in the long term, I wish I would have stayed focused at that time in order to find real discipline by yourself. No team. That's what college is. There is no team. You know, football, there's a team. You know what I mean? When you're down, you can lean on your brothers. They'll pick you back up. In college, there's no team. It's your responsibility to pay. It's your responsibility to figure out how you're going to eat. It's your responsibility to figure out how you're going to get these textbooks. It's your responsibility to figure out how you're going to get this laptop. It's your responsibility to figure out how you're going to get to and fro. They don't even have a fucking school bus for you. At least in high school, I was getting a free ride. I had to pay for the bus. I took so much shit for granted running from the grind in high school that once it came time to be an adult and figure it out myself, I was overwhelmed and I said, hey, this shit is too much. So I stopped. I stopped going to school. I came up with the excuse, hey, somebody got to watch my little brother, right? Huge excuse. I should have kept going to school, but I stopped going, right? After college, I entered a deep state of depression. This is probably like the second deepest state of depression I entered. Like the second most on the list, right, of depression, right? Because I was broke. We were homeless, sleeping in motels. I was down on my luck. You know, I'm applying for jobs. I don't even have my driver's license, so I'm not getting any calls back. They're not even looking at my resume's weak. They're not even looking at my resume. I'm getting declined left and right. I was down on my luck, truly. So when we first lost our apartment, this was probably when I was like 18, 19. I went to go stay at my man's crib with his family. Very grateful, very gracious. You know, I hold that family into high regards. You know, they didn't even have to look my way. I was able to get a job at Walmart. What I do there, I ran from the grind, said, hey, I don't like this, and I just left. Got a job at the bowling alley. Ran from the grind again. No, actually, I got a job at the bowling alley first, and then I worked at Walmart. And then, because I was running from the grind, my best friend's father, may he rest in peace, he gave me a wake-up call. He said, hey, bro, you living here. You're not really contributing to the house, which is true. Can't argue against it. You know, I know that you have other options to live elsewhere, so I think you should explore those other options to live elsewhere because, you know, I agree with him. His family didn't have to reach and extend that hand out for me to help me up. So the fact that I was disrespecting that handout and not using the handout as a great opportunity to propel and uplift myself. I didn't even have to fucking pay rent. So the fact that I wasn't using that handout to propel and lift myself, I had to leave. I had to go. You know, his father said I had to leave, you know, but then his father talked with the rest of the family, and they was like, no, he doesn't have to leave. But how I looked at it was, at this point, you're right. I gotta leave. You know, if these are the things that you're feeling, if you feel like I'm disrespecting you or taking advantage of you, I have to leave. So I left, went to go stay at my grandmother's house, which at the time I didn't want to, mainly due to convenience. You know, I didn't want to move to a whole new town. But I moved to my grandma's house, and I get a job at Target. I'm selling phones at Target. The only thing I had to do at my grandma's house, and this is what I mean, I ran from the grind. Again, the only responsibility I had at my grandmother's house, wash your own dishes and pay $25 a week. Wash your own dishes and pay $25 a week. Now, to be fair, I did my part. To be fair. But it's unfortunate that because I was running from the grind, like I said, I'm working at Target, I'm selling phones, instead of going in there, busting my ass to get as much money in my check as possible to sell these phones, I'm in there lollygagging. You know, I still somehow sold the most phones. So if I'm lollygagging, selling the most phones on the team, imagine how much money I could have made if I was like, no, I'm gonna become a stone cold killer in these sales, and I'm going to rack up sales like there's no tomorrow. I'm going to sell. Imagine if that was my mindset. Me being lazy got me to number one. That was my mindset at the time. Me being myself, which was just pure laziness, got me to number one. Now, it was minimum wage, which was $12 an hour. Plus, I think in order to get fucking $5, you had to, in order to get $5, I think for your commission checks, every iPhone you sold was $3. That's how it broke down. Every iPhone you sold was $3 extra in your paycheck. Me looking at how the pay structure was, I didn't see the value in even trying to sell phones, because if this iPhone is $1,000 and I'm getting 0.3% of that, what the fuck am I gonna bust my ass and sell these iPhones for? If I'm gonna get paid hourly anyway, why am I gonna bust my ass to sell these iPhones, right? That was my thought process, but it was the wrong thought process. I should have been in there ready to kill, because the biggest thing that I kind of did take away from it, but I should have taken away from it, was the ability to sell. When you run from the grind and you try to look for the easiest way to get to the money, get to the paycheck, you lose valuable skills that will help you to get bigger money long term. Hold on, I gotta drink some water. Right? So we was at back to the story, right? We was at our grandmother's house, and I worked at Target for a little bit, but then I left Target mainly because I wasn't really getting hours or nothing like that. But at the same time, shit happened inside the family where we left our grandmother's house, right? Now, we were going from motel room to motel room to motel room for a few months. It was a few months experiencing this. During that whole time, I wasn't working. Not only was I not working, I was spending my time, and this is going to go to my next point, but I was spending my time in things that I enjoyed instead of spending my time in things that will benefit my situation. And as I was searching for more enjoyment, my depression levels up. I was crying every day. I wasn't even doing drugs, alcohol, nothing like that at this point. It was just pure me. I was crying every day. I was, having mental breakdowns. I was, suicidal ideation, obviously, stuff like that. Where it got to a point where, I was done. Right? I was done. Going from motel, we got, 4 people splitting up 2 or 3 beds. And, we were we had a futon that we would take room from room, and we would have to move furniture around and shit to make sure the futon would fit. It was a mess, right? It was a mess. But we would do that, and, at some point I was just like, all right, this is I felt unlucky. But I really wasn't unlucky. I was just unprepared. Because I didn't have the skills I needed, and because I kept running from the grind, I hit a point where it was like, damn, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do, right? So then I found a job, found an office job. Another example, running from the grind. I found an office job. I was at the office job. At first, I was taking it serious inside of the 8 hours of work, but when I was leaving work, we eventually moved back into our grandmother's house, and we had the same rules, $25 a week and washing dishes, right? And I was still upholding my end of the bargain. But I was spending my money on dumb shit. I'm buying phones. I'm buying video games. None of that shit I have now. Right? I don't have none. My PS4 is broken, thanks to my little brother, but my PS4 is broken. I traded my Switch in. I don't have none of those games. I don't have none of the phone I eventually got was broken. I don't have none of that stuff. But because I was running from the grind and not actually using my money wisely to invest into the future, we reached another point where, and this time, it was my grandmother. And now I look back, she wasn't wrong. So, but at the time, I was very upset, but she wasn't wrong. I had another wake-up call. And that wake-up call led for me and my brother having to dip out. We put our money together to get a car, right? And late November, I think this was like 2018, late November, we had to leave. We didn't have any money saved up for an apartment. We didn't have any money saved up for even a place to stay, because we put all of our money into dumb shit and then into buying this car, right? I didn't even have my license. I didn't even have my license at the time that we got the car, by the way. So I went half on a car. I couldn't even drive, which is another topic for another day. But that's what happened. We went half. So now for the month of December, we sleeping in the car. Every night we'll go to the Walmart parking lot. We'll put up the put up these like sheets in the windows to block out, people from looking in and shit like that. We'll blast the heat for like 30, 45 minutes. We'll put on 2 or 3 coats. This was a cold winter. Put on 2 or 3 layers. And then we'll go to sleep for the night and then wake up at around like 6 a.m., 7 a.m. Well, really it was like 6 a.m., 5:30, 6 a.m. Because we were at the same office, but, we pretty much both started at around 8, 9, right? So we'll wake up at 6 a.m. We'll go to the Planet Fitness, pretend to work out. Well, pretend to work out. I wasn't really working out. I don't know. He might have been working out, but I wasn't really working out at the time, to be honest. And then we would have to go back outside because they were remodeling the dressing room and the showers. We couldn't take a shower inside. They had porta potty showers on the outside, and that water was the cold ice baby water. That was cold ass water. We would take a shower, and then we'll go to work and we'll do it all again. That was for the month of December, and we used that time to save money and get an apartment. Once we got the apartment, it was more running from the grind, not saving my money wisely, spending my money on dumb shit again. Just a whole lot of dumb shit. I'm going to be honest with you. A whole lot of dumb shit. And then we lost that apartment. I was homeless again. Long story short, I spent majority of my military age running from the grind, and that's led me to here. Like I said, I'm in the gym. You know what I mean? I'm in the gym, but I weighed this morning 484. I have a net negative net negative net worth, which means I'm in debt due to stupid financial decisions. And I live with my mom still. So that's number one. Don't run from the grind. Push yourself early. Obtain those skills early. Do what you need to do early in life in order to be able to make it long term. Because, just sitting around doing nothing, not really going to help you. Number 2, the search of P. What does that mean? I'm going to start this with a quote. I'm going to start part number 2 with a quote. Talking to my man Tony the other day. Shout out to Tony. Talking to my man Tony the other day. He's going through whatever he's going through. And I had to tell him, hey, if you search for pleasure, all you're going to find is pain. But if you search for power, then you will also find peace. Let me repeat that for y'all. If you search for pleasure, all you're going to find is pain. But if you search for power, you will also find peace. What do I mean by that? First part, first part, I was telling y'all I was running from the grind, right? But if you're running from the grind, you have to be doing something that como se dice, you have to be doing something that causes you to waste time. All right, waste time. If you're not grinding, you're wasting time, right? So what are you doing, right? What was I doing? A lot of video games. Fucking bullshit now. I've been gaming all my life. This is not even a gaming video. Real quick, I've been gaming all my life. Now for 2023, the gaming industry to be trash. You know how mad I am? You know how mad I am? Anyway, wasted a lot of time gaming, watching dumb shit on YouTube, crumb side niggas argue. I wasted a lot of my time hanging, and just no shot. I love y'all. I love y'all. I love all my friends from back in the day. I love them. I still care for them, you know, so I'm not shooting at y'all, but I should not have been hanging out with y'all. It shouldn't have been 7 or 8 of us sleeping in one room for the sleepover. Like, pretty much, like, doing dumb shit. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna say what was going on. I wasn't even really participating in what was going on. Back then I didn't smoke. I didn't drink. I barely partied. I wasn't getting no bitches. I had no reason to be in these rooms. That was in high school. After high school, I switched the rooms a little bit, right? Instead of hanging out with 7 or 8 niggas, I cut it down to like 3 or 4, right? But the 3 or 4 I was hanging out with, and they'll tell you, they're probably going to listen to this, and they'll know what I'm talking about. I used to just sit there in the corner, you know what I mean, probably petting the house cat or whatever, wherever house that we was at, petting the cat or whatever, thinking to myself, what the fuck am I doing here? What am I doing here? It was 2 parts, right? One part was, what the fuck am I doing here? I don't find enjoyment in playing Super Smash Bros. For fucking 4 hours and eating pizza. I don't find enjoyment in gossiping, which is what we was doing, long story short. I don't find enjoyment in any of this shit. What's the point? We not getting to no money. We're not starting no businesses. We're not figuring out a way to stop being poor. And then once I leave here, all my problems are back. I'm not even here to fix any of my problems. I'm here to try to numb the pain until we get to the long term. And then, you know, now I'm here. After all that time of numbing the pain, I'm here now. The pain ain't numbed. It's still here. You know, I'm dealing with it, processing it every day. Now I'm working on to fix it, but the pain's still here. It ain't going nowhere. I was just kicking the can down the road in search to find pleasure. And the pleasure wasn't even pleasurable. That's the fucked up part. So the one side of it was, I'm sitting here, I don't belong here. But the other side of it was, well, where the fuck do I go? What the fuck do I do? If I'm not sitting here doing nothing, I would just be sitting at the crib doing nothing. Or in the motel room doing nothing. You know what I mean? So for me, it was just kind of like, what's the, you know what I mean? I would be sitting there like this. Lean back in the chair, and you know, they would come up to me and be like, hey, you're good, whatever, this, that, and the third. I don't know if they were taking offense or whatever, but I mean, let's be real. I shouldn't have been there. I shouldn't have been in none of those rooms. That's going to go to my third point, but I'll digress, right? So I was searching for pleasure in people. searching for pleasure in video games. As I got older, like I said, I got my own apartment. Having your own apartment is such. Well, I mean, I was living with my brother, but we worked different schedules. It wasn't like back in the days living with your brother, if that makes sense, you know. So it was such a lonely experience. Like I said, I wasn't getting no bitches. So the first opportunity I had to, you know, invite somebody over, stuff like that. And again, search for pleasure instead of power. I wasn't really having the time I thought I should have been having, if that makes sense, right? I'm going to go into the story, right? There's this one girl, I ain't going to say her name around like that. If you know me, you know what I'm talking about, all right? She fucking, I mean, we knew each other for years, but we started talking again. This was like, what, November 2019, right before the pandemic. We started talking again then, and, you know, we started to become closer, but what I was looking for and what she was looking for was two opposite ends of the spectrum. This is hindsight, right? At the time, you know, she was lying, capping and saying, you know, eventually it'll work out. Fellas, if she tell you eventually we'll get together, don't believe it. Get the fuck out. That's number one. Number two, fellas, if you're in a friendship with a woman and if you ain't tell her that you liked her, because 90% of you niggas like the bitch. If you ain't tell her that you liked her, go tell her. See what the reaction is. If once you do tell her, if she's just trying to stay friends and, you know, not match your intentions, get the fuck out of there. I'm telling you now, get out of there. Do not sit there and be the lapdog for these brewing feelings and emotions that she's going to have. She's going to come to you for advice when it's convenient. I'm telling you what's going to happen. She's going to come to you for advice when it's convenient to talk about all these other niggas that ain't you, right? You're going to now have to watch what you say, because if you say, hey, you probably shouldn't be fucking with that nigga, one, and let me get my shit off. You know, I'm still hurt about this, but one, she gonna call you a hater, right? She might call you a hater, right? She might say, hey, you only say that because, you know, you want to be with me, right? Or two, she will receive what you say, right? She will receive what you say. She will process it and understand it. Acknowledge that it's from a place of actual love, you know, not I want to fuck you or I like you. It's, you know, I got love for you, even still as a friend. So I'm telling you this advice, and she's going to do the complete opposite. She's going to do the 180 of what you said to do. And now you sitting there looking stupid in the face, sick, mad as hell. Because not only in your mind processing it, when you're giving the advice, yeah, you love her, but you like the bitch. Yeah, you love her as a friend, but you like the bitch. Yeah, you love her as a friend, but you like the bitch. So all that advice you giving, yeah, you love her as a friend, but you like the bitch. Anyway, I had to learn that in my search of when I was searching for pleasure, and, you know, she's having issues. I'm trying to be Mr. Fix It. You know, I didn't really understand relationship dynamics. Like I said, my mom was a single mother. I never in my life seen my mom and dad interact with each other. You know, my mom never shit talked my dad. My dad never shit talked my mom. They always sound like they have love for each other and they have respect for each other. But I never seen the family dynamic together, working together, even when my little brothers, even when my stepfather was around. I just never seen it. I never seen what love was supposed to look like. So I'm sitting there thinking, this is what a lot of dudes with single mothers go through, right? Imagine your whole life you see your mom struggling. This is woman number one in your life. She's struggling. And you sitting there powerless. Sometimes it's powerless by choice, but you're powerless and you can't do nothing. And now you see another woman that you want to get in a relationship with and you feel like you're able to do something, but you're doing it obviously because you care, but you don't have that filter on yourself to sit back and say, hey, if these feelings aren't reciprocated, I probably shouldn't be doing any of this. I had the bitch living with me. That's strike one. That's strike one. I'm telling y'all now, that's strike one. I was compromising my morals. Like I said, I didn't drink in high school. I drunk on accident when I was a young boy because I thought it was just pink lemonade, right? And then I drunk on purpose when I was like 16, but that shit was nasty. And then from that point on, I didn't really drink. Like I didn't really drink. Even when I was asking my older brother for alcohol, it wasn't for me. I wasn't drinking, right? So now we get to adulthood. I'm compromising my morals because she's a fucking drunk. Let me rephrase that. She had an issue with alcohol. I don't want to name call her because I don't have any animosity towards her, but the facts are she was a fucking drunk, right? So she was a drunk where she would drink every day, and in order for me to be able to feel like I have a chance, whatever the fuck that means, I feel like I felt like at the time I had to compromise my morals and who I was as a person to start drinking with her, to start smoking with her. I smoked once or twice in high school. Yeah, I wasn't big on that either. I fucking doing a bunch of shit for her in hopes that it would transition into love. And that was never going to happen. That never happened. And, like I said, hindsight is 20/20. When I look back, like I said, it was never going to happen because I was searching for pleasure instead of searching for power. And this is probably why I'm still single now. I'm trying. There's a few women that I would like to try to mingle with, for the lack of better terms. But during that time when we were living together and she was living with me, if instead I focused my mindset on power, this was a pandemic, money was flying around. I'm disappointed I didn't get rich during the pandemic. Niggas was getting PPP loans and only had to pay back half the loan. Money was flying during the pandemic. The fact that I stayed broke during the pandemic was 100% because I was in search for pleasure instead of power. 100%. There was money flying around. I had no responsibilities. But because I was searching for pleasure, I want to feel loved today. I want to be in a relationship today. I want to today, right? Because I was focused on today. One, today never came, right? The love never came. The relationship never came. And the two, we fucking in 2023, 3 years later, well, a year removed from the last time, a year and a half pretty much removed from the last time I spoke to her. We're now in 2023, and all the problems I had in 2020, I still have in 2023. I'm still fat. I still have a net negative net worth. I'm still learning, trying to figure out what does it mean to be a man. I'm still having issues with communication. I still battle. Well, I mean, my addiction started when I was trying to deal with her. But, you know, I'm still battling addictions. Every day I wake up, I want to fucking smoke. Every day I wake up, I want to fucking drink. You know? I don't, which I'm grateful for. I don't know how many days sober I am because you're not supposed to be counting. But I don't. But every day I still battle these demons. If I would have battled them, the pandemic was the perfect time to battle your demons in the search for power. The perfect time. I wasn't doing shit else but sitting inside the crib all day. I wasn't doing nothing. I ain't have shit else to do. Not only that, they couldn't kick me out. I didn't even have to worry about paying rent. But I spent my time doing dumb shit for pleasure instead of searching for power. If you're between the age of 12 to 40, if you're between the age of 12 and 40 right now, and you're searching for today's pleasure instead of today's power, you are going down the wrong path. I'm going to say it again. If you're between 12 and 40 and you're searching for pleasure instead of power, you are going down the wrong path, and you will never find true peace. You will never find it. When you search for pleasure, you will only find pain. When I was searching for pleasure with this bitch, I shouldn't be calling her a bitch, right? But this is how I feel. When I was searching for pleasure, what did I find? A toxic situationship. What else did I find? Addiction. More self-hate. I went to the hospital for suicidal ideation twice during COVID, which was horrible. It's fucking horrible. Good luck getting help. Good luck getting help with that. I got into more debt. I lost more money than ever. This was all because I was finding pleasure instead of power. If I would have spent my time during the pandemic instead of focusing on some bitch, if I would have went and put my time into working out, you know what I mean? Instead of buying fucking $200 worth of weed, if I went and bought some fucking dumbbells and worked out, got in shape, got my mind right, put my money towards long-term investments, shit, I would have been rich off crypto. Like if I would have took one step, I knew crypto was about to blow up, but I was spending my money on fucking liquor. What the fuck going on? I'm spending my money on Uber Eats. What the fuck is going on? If I would have spent my time in search for real power, I probably would have got the relationship, even though looking back, I shouldn't have wanted the relationship, but I probably would have gotten the relationship. I probably would have gotten a new house. I probably would have gotten a car quicker. I probably would have gotten all the things that I would wanted long term back in those days. I would have gotten it during the pandemic. Money was going crazy, and I squandered the opportunity over some dumb bitch. And I gotta say it like that because I know that there's some 19, 22, 35, 14-year-old sitting at home crying over some dumb bitch. At the end of the day, it's just some dumb bitch. I don't normally talk like this. Ladies, if you're watching this, I don't normally talk like this. I don't normally talk like this. Right? And for the ladies, I'm sure you guys can relate too, because I'm sure a lot of you ladies out there worried about some dumb nigga. It goes the same both ways. You worried about some dumb nigga who treats you like shit. Who some women dealing with niggas who hit them. Some women are dealing with niggas who are I can't say the word. Grapes. Hey, you got any grapes? Y'all get it. Some women are dealing with actual manipulative abuse, emotional abuse. Not that shit that y'all say Jonah Hill was doing. We ain't doing that. I'm talking about real emotional abuse. Some women are dealing with real issues over these men. If they stop worrying about these dumb niggas, and started worrying about what truly matters in life, they wouldn't be suffering. They wouldn't suffer. You literally wouldn't suffer. I know in America now, and I don't want to get political. But I got to say it. I know in America now, everybody hates capitalism, right? Which is understandable, because in order for somebody to win in capitalism, somebody got to lose, right? But when I look at a lot of the losers in capitalism, I'm one of them. I want to be clear. I'm one of them. But a lot of the losers in capitalism is because they focus on today's pleasure instead of today's power. They focus on how can I feel good within the next 10 minutes versus how can I make sure that my family's good for the next 10 generations. Even if you fail at making sure your family's good at the next 10 generations, those steps that you take will still set up your next generation to take even further steps. A lot of y'all having kids. No shot to my people with kids. Very hard, very difficult. I don't have any kids, so I can't sit here and say what you should or shouldn't be doing. A lot of y'all having kids, and when the kid is here, you're still putting yourself as the top priority. What do I mean by that? Instead of making sure your kid, I wish my mom would have made me apply pressure in school. Again, I don't blame her. I can't go back to the past and change nothing. But for future generations, a lot of you parents, instead of having your kid just fly by the easy classes, apply pressure, make sure that they put in 110%. That's the best thing for your child. It's not being their best friend and saying, hey, sometimes breaks are cool. I'm not saying grind. You know what I mean? David Goggins, stay hard. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that, right? Breaks are good, but when it's time to work, you make sure that they work to the best of their ability and they don't squander the opportunities that they have for the long term. Put your child's future first instead of putting, a lot of parents, they don't even put their child first. They put themselves first. Hey, I need to go out. Hey, I need to do this. Hey, I need to do that. X, Y, and Z. Again, I'm not a parent. I can't say what's good or bad. I just see a lot of kids today are suffering from the adverse effects of what happens when the parent searches for pleasure versus searches for power. So I'm going to say this one more time, and then we're going to move on to the next one, because the next one is the last one. Quote of the lifetime. This quote of the lifetime. I made this quote. This is me. When you search for pleasure, all you're going to find is pain. But when you search for power, you will also find peace. Don't go through every day in search of trying to find pleasure, because all that does is kick the can down the road, where long-term effects you're going to have, it's going to be bad. You're going to go through pain. Instead of searching for pleasure, you should find power. You should try to earn money. You should try to earn good qualities like hard work, dedication, discipline, stuff like that. You should try to set yourself up for the long-term goal. So eventually, while you're living your life, even if something bad happens, it's not the end of the world. You know, they say make sure you have 3 to 6 months of, for example, they say make sure you have 3 to 6 months of savings in your account. A lot of Americans, I think it was like 70% of Americans, are living paycheck to paycheck in debt due to gender studies college degrees, which, again, come on, y'all. You know, medical bills, medical bill debt is normally number one. I'm not mad at that, but student loan debt for shit that you don't need, degrees you don't need, you know, just say you have a degree, fucking credit card debt, fucking car loan debt, fucking mortgage debt. I'm not against mortgage. Mortgage is one of those debts I'm not against, but a lot of people use the mortgage wrong. This is not a finance conversation, so I'm not going to go deep, but a lot of people use these debts wrong, which causes a lot of pain in the long term. You're paying half of your paycheck in interest sometimes. You know, it's a bad idea. All right, so number three. This is very important. Number 3, loneliness versus alone. Now, as y'all heard through 1 and 2, I had multiple examples of where I was dealing with other people, whether it was friends or potential relationship partners, situationship, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I was dealing with these people, and the whole time, if you know me, you know I say this a lot. I've been saying this a lot. The whole time while I was explaining this, I was saying, you know, I feel alone. I feel not alone. I feel lonely. You know, I felt lonely during these times because I felt like nobody, not even myself, not even all the mixed personalities, like I'm YMW Melly, you know what I mean? Not even the mixed personalities in my head could agree with one commonality, one cause. And I'm so split up when I look outside, you know, if I talk to my mom, or if I talk to my brothers, or if I talk to my friends, or if I talk to even the one girl, if I talk to her, I felt loneliness because it felt like nobody really understood how I was feeling and what I was going through, right? And now that could be false, you know. Looking back, that could be false. A lot of them could have understood what I was going through, but because I didn't understand myself and I didn't understand what I should be doing, I felt a great amount of loneliness in this field, right? Like I said, those friends I shouldn't have been around, that girl I shouldn't have been around. So right now, I'm currently in a stage where I don't necessarily feel loneliness. You know, there are some days where, you know, it comes and goes, but it's not a constant feeling anymore. But because I'm on this journey to improve myself and push myself to a limit where I'm able to outwork, out hustle, out grind any of my problems pretty much, I now find myself alone. And if you're going to make these drastic changes in your life to search for power, you know, to stop running from the grind, the younger you start, the younger you start this process, the easier it is for you to make friends, because young people make friends very easily. It's very easy when you're 13, 14, 15, 16, shit, even up to 18, 19, 20, 21. When you're in school, when you're in college, it's very easy to change your environment, find people who think like you, and then start the path to start your grind or find your power, right? But when you're out of school, school is, for most people that you meet, in your young adult life, school is the excuse as to how you met each other. Hey, how'd you meet this girl? Hey, how'd you meet this dude? Oh, yeah, we go to the same school together. It's very common. You're going to go to the same school with a lot of different people. So eventually, if you want to change your social circle, it's easier to do that when you're in a place that has a bunch of social circles. Now, with me, because I recently started this path of power, as I'm gonna call it now. When I recently started my path of power, like I said, I DoorDash. The only social connections I have outside of my mom and my little brother, in the real world, is with, the Chick-fil-A cashier, or, the customer who sits outside and waits for his food. It's not much interaction. It's thank you, enjoy the rest of your day, I appreciate it, blah, 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 right? The friends I had in high school, we barely talk. We barely talk. I'm gonna be honest. A lot of them I don't even talk to them at all. And it's not out of hate. It's just we ain't got nothing to talk about. I stopped playing video games for the most part. I may play a game here or there, but it's not really in my best interest anymore to consistently be on the game and be social and stuff like that, because that's not where my interests lie anymore, And I was battling this feeling for years, right? I didn't want to get into a position where I had to. My mom's on. I didn't want to get into a position where I had to stop talking to my friends or, find a new social circle or anything like that in order for me to feel like I'm doing something to improve my life. It was just, that's just how the ball rolled at the point, and I was in group chats for years. At least 2 years. I'm in these group chats saying, hey, how can we get to the money? If I'm lying, I'm flying. I'm saying, hey, how can we get to the money? Hey, I'm tired of talking about anime all day. Can we talk about something that's actually important? Hey, I'm kind of tired of talking about sports all day and video games all day. Can we talk about something that's actually important and that could help change our lives? I'm tired of waking up and being poor and seeing all my friends poor. Poor is a strong word, but broke. Seeing all my friends broke. Seeing none of us. We all have the talent. We all have the talent to get to the millions. We all have the talent. 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 Just, I know some niggas. Think of your favorite rapper. Think of your favorite rapper. 2023 favorite rapper. I don't know if he out rapping Hove or Nas or Drake or something, but I know a nigga today, he can out rap a majority of the 2023 mainstream rappers. A majority. He definitely out rapping Dirk, because this ain't a music channel. He could out rap a lot of you niggas. He just won't apply himself to out rap a lot of you niggas. That hurts me on the inside. That was hurting me on the inside. I had to make the decision to pretty much stop talking to him, because am I going to sit here and watch talent be squandered? Or am I going to go find my power and just do what I got to do? At some point, you got to sit back look at your friendships, look at your family, relationship with your family. If you got a couple or a partner, look at your relationship with your partner, and you're going to have to sit back and ask yourself, does this setting, does this surrounding, does this scenery help me find pleasure or power? And if they're not helping you find power and they're only there for pleasure, I suggest to you now to get out of those, even if it has to be temporary. I'm not saying shit on them. I still love my friends. They're probably going to watch this video and show love and support. But the reason why I don't talk to them every day, I probably get like 3 or 4 text messages a day now. The reason why I don't talk to many people every day anymore is because most people, we're not really on the same wavelength anymore. The only person I talk to about this content creation shit is my man Tony, because he can relate and understand what it's like to try to build your name and build an audience and stuff like that. Now, I'm not doing this to build an audience for money and stuff like that. I'm doing this for the average everyday person. If you're sitting back and you're watching this, for you to create a spark in your mind. You know, if I help one person, I helped 1 million. That's how I feel. It only takes one person to feed 1 million people. We see it with the rappers all the time. It only takes one nigga to make it out the hood, and now the hood getting turkeys on Thanksgiving. We see it all the time. So if I'm able to help one person change their life and their family's life, I helped 1 million people. That's how I view it. But back to loneliness versus alone. So now I'm alone, but I don't feel lonely. Very important to specify the difference. Right now I'm alone. I don't have much social interaction. I don't go out much. I recommend everybody go watch the Illuminati video of why you're alone and don't have friends or whatever. I'll put it up. I recommend everybody to go watch that video, because that'll literally describe what I went through and how I'm changing to elevate to the next level. I'm not against friends. I'm not against hanging out, stuff like that. Right now, I'm in a space where I'm alone by choice. You know, I got a text earlier asking me if I wanted to get on the game. I'm not getting on the game. Not until I do the things that I got to do. You know, I told him, hey, I'm recording this video. I'm in search for power right now. And in that search for power, like I said, I'm currently in a state where I'm alone. If you're young, you're still in school, you still have social settings, shit. Even if you still have like a job, you know, where you're working in an office or something, if you are able to find your little niche group of people to elevate your friend groups and elevate the time that you spend with each other, and make sure that that's positive in the powerful direction, it's a net positive for power, do it, because competition is great. More people in your circle who want to see elevation and growth is great. But if you're in a situation like I am, where it was either hang with friends or search for power, I couldn't do both. It was either pleasure or power. Choose the power. You're going to be alone. But once you find that peace within your inner self, you will stop feeling lonely. If that makes sense. But my name's Shiloh. This is the SOxLOH channel. Like, subscribe. I also do fitness stuff, anime stuff on my other channel, SOxLOH or Lolo. I gotta go because my mom's home, and I want to talk to my mom. So I will talk to you guys later. I love and appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so much.